I'm Andy, and I play guitar in the band.
I'm Aaron, and I play guitar too, and I sing sometimes.
I'm Ryan, I play bass and I sing.
I'm Tom, and I play drums and I sing.
And I sing.
we are the Felonies.
Definitely Facebook, I'd say. I'd say Facebook's definitely the biggest following that we have. So I think that's probably where it's easiest to reach the
Tinder.
highest amount of people. Yeah. I mean,
Tinder
we try,
social.
but, like,
Tinder social.
Yeah.
No, Facebook.
That involves matching with people, so like we're not the best.
Yeah, we don't get any.
So,
Facebook,
Facebook's
and
definitely better.
Facebook and Instagram, really. They seem to be the two big hitters. When we've gone into the studio, we've tried to keep it like as close to the live sound as we can get, like avoiding things that we wouldn't be able to do live without additional members.
Yeah, we don't like putting in things that we can't put in a live show, so we don't like putting in synths if we don't have someone to play synths in the show, so it's better off to get as close to as we sound live as in the recording. So
I think our mistake at the start, well, it wasn't a mistake, but we rushed in and recorded a 4-track EP, then took it down to a 3-track because plagiarism. But
Yes.
this year we've been clever about it, and we've released 3 singles as of lately, and that's Repetition, Perfect Lie, and Drunk 3 AM. And I think releasing singles has been it's been our cleverest move.
Yeah, kind of. People are more likely to just go for one song than they will if you're like, oh yeah, we've got an EP out. When we put our EP out, people are just sort of like, oh yeah, we'll listen to the first track and then we'll not bother with the rest, because I think just singles are more likely to get, you won't get radio play off a whole EP, you'll get radio play off a single.
No.
No. No, there's nothing against any of the DJs on air. In fairness, we had Dan Hegarty off RTE. He got in contact with us after he followed us. He was just like, yeah, well, I'm interested, send me on all your tracks, and then he played his favourite, and that helped because it's just another thing that you can tell people.
No, it's kind of weird in the fact our best, not our best, but our most popular song on music streaming services was our first single, Repetition. But the song that's got the most radio play is our second single, Perfect Lie. And I find that quite interesting because, I don't know, it's more alt and out there.
yeah, well, to be honest, it's kind of, as much as it's great to have a load of streams on social media and whatever, it's kind of great to see something get played on radio because you're reaching an audience that maybe don't use social media as much as there is people who use a crazy amount of social media. There are people who just listen to the radio, so it's great to get out so you can sort of reach out to fans in a different area. So radio play is always a good one to get.
I think when we first started as a band, we thought okay, yeah, you have to be a signed artist to get on Spotify. And when we put out the EP, it was just we sort of went off what other bands were doing. We were like, okay, we'll put it on Bandcamp and we'll put it on SoundCloud. And yeah, and then
I think we were kind of uneducated when we first started on the whole getting our music out there online, because we knew SoundCloud and Bandcamp were all free services, and only when myself were in college, we kind of realized it's actually kind of easy to get your music online, going through CD Baby and them kind of aggregators. So I think our music's on SoundCloud and stuff originally just so it's easier accessible for people that don't have the apps like SoundCloud, Spotify and iTunes and stuff. But I think we do kind of rely on the streaming services more than SoundCloud itself.
That was crazy. Did you ever see someone jump over a couch? That happened pretty rapidly after that. It was,
We're going to sneak into Duran's tent, spoon them.
Yeah, I mean, Duran are golden oldies. That's. They're vulnerable. The Zimmer frames.
We're going to burn some tents and all.
I mean,
yeah, it was kind of
great.
It was kind of crazy to get, because we didn't initially looking at some of the other bands that got selected. We were like, okay, yeah, we don't have a hope. And then when we heard our song being played, I think it took 2 seconds before we realized it was Ryan's voice from the song Perfect Lie, and we heard them playing that, and then we just lost it. Tom wasn't with us at the time. Tom was on a bus, but me, Andy, and Ryan were literally Bill Gatesing it and jumping over chairs. And
But it was
stuff
it's like as amazing as it made us all feel. We've been very humbled by it all because like it's incredible. Like we were talking like 2 years ago or like last week, we played our first gig in Dublin, and that was to try and get a slot at Electric Picnic, and we're after getting it now, like 2 years later, and we're just over the moon about it. Like it's crazy.
Bit delayed in the whole thing. It only took 2 years. It's definitely a very modern sort of competition for what it was, but yeah, like the support we got from like people was crazy. You know, when people are sending you pictures saying like I voted 7 times, you're kind of going, wow. I mean, like
yeah, like we had old,
I appreciate that.
we had old, like I had old secondary school teachers like being like, yeah, like we voted loads, and then I think the whole way it was organized to do half text vote, half judges vote is just like. It shows that people like Music Maker, Imro, Abner Brown's, King Kong Radio, and RTE, they're all like sort of realizing, okay, this is going to be the way that we can get the most reach. Also, like they raised like €7,000 for Jack and Jill, so it's sort of like once people see all donations go to charity, it's like it's just probably the best way they could have done it. Yeah, Irish Music Party, like. That started from just the Twitter, like Irish Music Party. They just started being like, oh yeah, every Monday 5 to 7, tweet Irish Music Party, and I hope I didn't get those times wrong. But and then like before we started using it, I noticed that it was like trending on Mondays on Twitter. Hashtag Irish Music Party would be trending. So I started like taking the Twitter and just posting something and then being like Irish Music Party. And then it'll get retweets on retweets, and then you get favorites, and you're reaching an audience of all the other bands that use it. So yeah, there's kind of a familial aspect about it. People are just sort of whatever they're tweeting, whatever Irish Music Party are doing, it's helping out. So yeah, it's good. It's very handy. It's just well worked, and yeah, I think the Dublin music industry is just like a tight knit group. So never underestimate it.
We got a tour coming up. We got a tour. It's kicking off tonight in Whelan's, and then
let me think about this. Galway. August 23rd in Galway, and then Fred Zeppelin's in Cork on the 25th.
Yes, and then we have a week off before we're at Electric Picnic. We haven't got the exact date or day or stage time we're playing, but that'll be on our Facebook page or any social media. And then we also play the following weekend. We play
Waterford. Sorry, I was very distracted by the going on.
On September 8th. And then the Newtown Park Festival in Newtown, Mount Kennedy on September 9th. So yeah, you can catch us there.
on Twitter we are at the Felonies Band. On Instagram we are the Felonies. And on Facebook, we are the Felonies.
And on Snapchat,
we are the Felonies.
The Felonies.